Hi, and welcome back. So you remember Kathy, anxious and overwhelmed, and moved quickly to calm. So I asked her last week, what has changed for her in as a result of her doing this process on a regular basis? And this is what she told me. She said, "Oh my gosh." She said, "First of all, I feel really more connected inside of myself. And as a result of that, I feel like I am more connected with those around me, like with my husband and kids and her coworkers and friends." And she said, I didn't expect that at all, but I really appreciate it. The other thing she said is that when she starts feeling that anxious, overwhelmed feeling again, she knows exactly what to do to stop it so that it doesn't get out of hand. And the other thing she says, and I'm sleeping so much better. Um, I haven't been sick in almost a year, and I have more energy. So there was motive. And I asked her, I said, wow, that's all really kind of cool. And I said, what has motivated you to stick with doing this process? Because sometimes people will just say, oh, I forgot. And she said, here's the reason why. She said, it was so intense last year when I came into your office, and it worked so immediately for me. It was just like, my state went from crazy to calm in such a short period of time. So I knew that this worked, and all I had to do is keep playing with it. And that's what she has been, really good about. And this is amid a very, very busy life for her. She's just found little pockets in her life where she can kind of keep this alive and not let it slip away or be forgotten like a lot of the other things that we bring on board in hopes that they work. It's such an easy and simple process that she realized, and because it worked, she said, I had tried so many things and nothing was working, and I had been so out of control for weeks, and within just a few short minutes it had all turned around. So that's her reasons why she's kept it up. So I'm going to tell you that I'm going to show you two of the three parts to this process in this video. But before I do, I want to quickly tell you how I discovered this combination for myself. Because I'm a healthcare provider, I'm a practitioner of Chinese medicine, and so I do all the right things to be healthy: the nutrition, the exercise, herbs. I teach health. It's my job to be healthy, but I was in a period of my life where that actually wasn't my experience. And so I had spent a lot of money and I was trying a lot of things to be healthy and always falling and coming up short. So that all changed when I discovered and began practicing this very simple process. And the best part is that it's free. I can do it anywhere and anytime, and I do. And I really got it that if I could just stick with this, that it would change a lot for me in a very positive way, and that exactly was my case. So I'm pretty passionate about it because I know the power of it. So let's begin. Our bodies, your body and my body, have so much intelligence inside. There are trillions of cells carrying out all these functions all day long, even amid some of our not so great health choices. I realized that this intelligence inside of me needed much more room to work. I had to stop choking it off and instead give it freedom to access the healing intelligence that it is designed to carry out. And that's what the body's job is. And I realized that I was the only one choking that off. That is how the body works. And so I paid attention to this, and I really dedicated my, just a few moments here and there until I could actually carry it forward more and more throughout my day. Most people all day long spend their attention in their heads. So we do everything in our life from here up. We're spinning, we're thinking, we're trying to figure out how to solve this problem or that problem, how to save time, getting things done on our to-do list. It's really an experience of being in the head. The problem with that is that it actually disconnects us from where so much more of our cellular intelligence resides, which is in our body. When we're in our body, it includes the mental capacities of our head. But unfortunately, if we're only in our head, it disconnects us from the intelligence of our body. So if we're spending all of our time in our head and we're disconnected from our body cannot heal. It is choked off. And so the whole idea is to find ways to be in our body and allowing circulation and energy to carry out and do its job. And that's what this process is, that very simply said, this whole process is designed to support your body in doing just that. So the first thing we need to do is learn how to be in our body, and then we'll activate this cellular intelligence. And we be in our body by having awareness lower in our body. So if you were to imagine a ball, like a little round ball, just dropping through the top of your head and moving down through the center of your body, and then landing at the very base, like where your legs come together. Let's try to get this here. Yeah, where your legs come together. It's at this area right here. There's like a little cupped area there, and just let that ball fall right in that part. And this part between your legs, and this is an energy center. So if this is your belly, and this is your womb space if you're a woman, and it's also called the Dantian in Chinese medicine, by the way. And if you put your awareness in this part of our body, first of all, this is a very safe place for us to have our awareness when we're moving energy, when we're allowing circulation, when we're allowing our body to be open and cellular intelligence to be having the room and the activity to do what it's designed to do. And we don't have to direct any of this, by the way. You don't have to be thinking about what it's supposed to do. All you have to do is be in your body, breathe, which we'll do next, and then next week we'll talk about the third part. But your practice is to have your awareness low in your body as often as you can. So if as you go throughout your day, and if you ask yourself to just sink into that place and to just drop into that place, then you will be in a very safe place in your body, and you'll also be it's also a place where the human body can absorb quite a lot of stress. It just happens to be the place in the body that can absorb the most stress. So it's a really valuable practice to continually remind yourself to have your awareness low in your body. If you know what a Kegel is, which is that thing that you do when you squeeze and release, like you're going to squeeze your flow of urine to stop, and then you release and squeeze and release. A lot of times people will do it to just sort of strengthen those muscles, whether they have a little bit of bladder incontinence or something like that. It's very strengthening to those muscles. If you do a Kegel and you squeeze and release, you're at the very place that this energy center is in your body. So if you drop your awareness low and you drop yourself into that part of your body, you'll still be thinking, but your awareness will also include your body. And that's what's really important here. So that's the first part. The second part is having a breath that actually activates the movement of circulation inside your body so that blood can move. Blood carries all of our nutrients, hormones, messaging, signaling, all kinds of stuff has to be carried through the blood. And if it's blocked anywhere, and most of us have lots of places where blood gets blocked and can't, make it through to the place that it's trying to go, that causes problems. So blood and lymph and nerve conduction and qi, which is just a Chinese word for our life force, all of that needs a continual circulation and an unimpeded flow in our body for health and cellular intelligence to be available to do its job of healing all the things in our body that constantly need to be repaired and brought, rejuvenated and brought back up to a up to snuff kind of place. So the breath is very specific. It's in through the nose and out through the mouth. And the reason it's that way is because that will then activate that circulation that we were talking about at the most optimal level in your body, and and keep things moving. Most of us breathe really shallow, and the wrong kind of breath, the shallow kind of breath, it churns energy and nothing gets changed. Well, that's not entirely true, but so much less than is optimal in the body gets changed. What we need is a strong and active breath so that there's a constant rejuvenation and transformation of our energy and an upgrade of our energy as it is needed. So the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, much like this. You might have heard a little bit of a wind sound. When I'm by myself and not in the middle of the grocery store in a meeting, I do make that breath very active and audible in that way. But if I'm around other people, I keep it a little bit more on the down low. But I do still breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And most people really do need to find little ways of reminding themselves to have their awareness in their body and have their breath be deep. So back to the breath for a minute. What I wanted to say is that you want to pull the inhale all the way down into that part of your body that we had you, where am I here? That we had you cupping, towards the end of where am I? Okay, well, anyway, that place in your body, you want to bring your breath all the way into that deep place and then exhale through the mouth. Now, again, most of us stop really shallow, really short, and that cuts off everything good that we need in our body for keeping our health very vital. I can't even begin to tell you the cascade of events that happen when we breathe shallow. It actually activates a stress response in our body, and when a stress response is activated in our body, a whole reaction of chemicals happen in our body that do not support our health. The opposite is also true. When we take a full breath into our belly, and when we keep ourselves in our body, and when we have non-constriction or more of a relaxation sense in our body, we'll talk about that in our next video, then we unleash this healing capacity, and you have it just as much as the next person. So don't be thinking that you got left off of the checklist, so to speak. You have an innate capacity inside your body at a deep cellular level. You have a blueprint of good health, and all we need to do is allow it to be active and have room and be open to move in, through, and around all of our cells and all of our being. So back to the idea of remembering to do this, because it's not a habit. Our habit is to breathe shallow, be in our head, and sort of be constricted. Then I suggest, and what many people do, is they put little reminders, either a little sticky on your computer, or every time you take a sip of something, that can be a way of reminding yourself to sink low into that lower place in your body, so your awareness is in your body and intelligence is alive and awake, and start breathing at a much deeper level, preferably in through your nose and out through your mouth. And starting with those two things, I'm just going to have you play with those two things between now and when your next video comes, which will be in 5 or so days. And then we'll go through the third part, and then in the third video, I'll tie it all together for you. And you'll be thrilled because you'll have a very simple process that will require a little clumsiness at first to get used to, but once you bring it on board, and it doesn't take that long, because I tell you, the body really, really likes to be in this particular state. It operates much better, and you'll notice that, yourself. So, just notice what happens. Play with it. Don't be hard on yourself. Just remember when you can. Notice the difference between how you have felt in the past in terms of tension, and if you feel a little bit less tense and more relaxed and just more open and more calm and more centered. So play with that, and until the next video, then I'll bring on the third part for you. And until then, Lori Morse, create your health naturally.